The other question I wanted to talk about is, well, I'm going to come back to the Black community, but I also wanted to talk about over the last 3 months, the mindset has kind of shifted. I call it the second wave. So I think when this first started, when COVID first came, we all thought within 3 months we'll go back to normal. And now, over the last 3 months, everybody's mindset is we don't know when we're going to go back to normal. So I wanted to ask you guys, what has been 3 things that have given you joy over the last 3 months? And after the 3 joys, I'm going to ask you what are the 3 things that have also been challenges for you.
So as we like to keep it joyful, we'll start with the challenges. Is that okay with you, Nadia?
I was going to say the same. Let's start with the challenges. So should I start?
Go ahead.
For me, one of the main challenges was to not be able to travel, and because then it meant not being able to see my extended family and my friends as much as I used to. So it was more on a personal level, on an emotional level. I found it was a challenge. The second main challenge for me was to see our business, hit a wall, basically from, overnight, everything that we had planned was canceled. And so it was really having to think about new ways of doing things. And the third one, as a challenge, is obviously the whole anxiety that was around, which I really had to work on my mindset to keep that really, at arm's length. Those are the 3 challenges I faced. What about you, Joe?
Well, maybe the biggest one was to witness and feel a little bit, disarmed as to what to do at the beginning, to witness the mental breakdown all around for everybody. Particularly, I looked at it first in my own family and me and myself and my own family. And then I looked at it, across the world. And the mental breakdown was also fueled by the media that was constantly focusing on fear, which they continue to do, by the way. And also on this government panic worldwide that decided that the best course of action was to put us into straitjackets in our house and prevent us from going out. So basically put us in prison and let the birds and the animals watch us as we were staying in our own prisons. So that took me aback, and took me aback for, I would say, probably a month or a month and a half at the most. And then I reacted. So that's the first one. The second one was, I was very much looking forward to 2020, like many people, but particularly since it was going to be the year where we travel the most ever. We've been traveling extensively and traveled the most ever, and we were booked literally around the world except for Asia, I think, but we intended to go to Asia regardless in the summer, actually. So we go from there, from having all these opportunities to just having to stop, basically. And then the third one was really, and it's really one that is linked to the first one, is to see a few people who are absolutely great people who are still broken down mentally, very much so. I'm not sure how they will rebuild because they're not necessarily reading the signs. And that may include me, by the way. I don't think I am, but it may include me. But they're not necessarily reading the signs, and they're just transforming themselves into something that I'm not sure they're completely done. So they are at loose ends from a business standpoint, at loose ends from a social standpoint, and really wondering what's next. And still now we are in September 2020, and there are quite a few people that I know who are like this. And when you add this to a make-believe that the society tells you to do, that's a seriously dangerous compounding factor from a mental standpoint for those individuals. And I believe there are more individuals like this rather than less, unfortunately. So these are, the challenges. Let's talk about the joys.
If I could just touch on the challenges that you mentioned before we move to the joys, because there was a lot of points that you put in there, and I thought, yes, it's true. The people who haven't, I call it, made that mental shift, because I think people weren't accepting what was going on, and then they wanted to just carry on with the same go, go, go attitude. And those who haven't made that mental shift are really struggling. But it's something that Gilles just said now is like, when you react and you have to start being creative and doing stuff, you still have to be your authentic self in making sure that that thing you're doing creative is still part of you. Otherwise, you start looking at social media, you start looking at the news, and you start trying to do. This one is like you have to be yourself, and you have to go where your energy flows to come out of this. So I just wanted to touch on those points. And I love the honesty in that. Yeah, it was for so many industries, it was just bang, finished. Like the entertainment industry gone, and that's where you had to really take a step back and just think, right, this is happening to everyone. It's not just you. And then you're able to start doing the shifting and coming out of it. So I just thought I'd touch on that before you guys go on to the joys.
Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, my joys, first of all, is being able to press the pause button. We've had such crazy years that I did not realize how exhausted I was. And so just being able to press the pause button and spend quality time with Gilles and our children. We've just literally spent 6 months together almost every day. And for me, this is utmost luxury. It hasn't happened in years because our children are grown, they're in university. When they come on holiday, we're working or we're traveling. When we go visit them, they're studying. So this has been a very important bonding time with adult children, which is different from when they were kids at home. So that was a great joy. I've also been doing things that I had never done before, or not as much, watching series and just resting my mind. And I think, that's definitely very important to me. The second thing is having been able with Gilles and our team to brainstorm very quickly to turn around the business and digitalize and get back into some form of activity. And I think that has helped all of us psychologically as well. Just, get things done and keep going. And I guess my third, or I think I've said the three, really. Those are the three. I just keep going.
Yeah, you were saying 1.5 actually at the beginning. But anyhow, just to build on what Nadia says, the first thing is having been able to switch quite quickly. That has brought me a lot of joy. So yes, we were impacted, particularly with this craze of the media, of governments panicking literally and trying to tell us that they weren't panicking, but that was a new normal. And actually, they panicked so much that they were putting the fear of God into each one of us through any means necessary and any means they could find. So having been able to, what happened is we were traveling and we got to America to visit our children on holiday on the 9th on the 10th of March. And we were supposed to be there for 10 days. And then we saw the news starting and we realized that, whether we were there or back in the UK, we would be stuck and we wouldn't be traveling. So it was an easy decision to stay there and an easy decision to say, let's take 20 days instead of 10 days of holidays. And then let's reassess the situation. Madam Secretary is a great show. I saw the whole thing during that time and I was pleased to see that one of my next to Kino, my brother actually was involved in that piece of art of the series,
okay,
on the music side. But the point is, I enjoyed myself. alone. I enjoyed myself with my family, and I enjoyed myself with a few friends that we could actually see or speak to or see through Zoom, etc. And then we decided, so what can we give back? You know, this is a time of giving back. This was the first thought. And we actually developed training that we gave for free initially. If people want that same training now, they will pay. But you know, for 5 weeks we gave it for free, and we also decided to help make sure that different individuals, not only Black individuals, but different individuals with skill sets around public speaking and incredibly rich life story would be featured on a weekly basis on a show that we actually created, literally created. We initially wanted to do it for 5 weeks. We've done 20 episodes of it, and we're finishing off just the scheduling through the end of the year with different individuals. So it is now becoming a process and something that is actually bringing some value that we give. But we, not Nadia and myself, but the people who are involved in the interview are giving incredible stories, and some people are saying these are masterclasses. So as Nadia said, this has been enabling us to reinvent ourselves and to create something new. So, you know, the time of holiday was first joy for me. The time of reinventing the business was the second joy. And the third joy is really around family and people again, and being able to see, despite what I was saying earlier, people who are actually taking this crisis and making the best of it. People who are telling me, you know, I'm so busy, I've never been that busy. And people that we are connecting with that are different people that we were connecting with before. We're still connecting with the people we were connecting before, but you know, some new people with new thinking, with togetherness. And one of our friends speaks about collective intelligence, being able to know you have strengths that I don't have, that are complementary. Instead of fearing you and instead of trying to work in my own corner, let's put our strengths together and multiply it by a multiple of a very high number. And doing more and more of that is rewarding for us, but rewarding for the people that we impact through these processes. So these are the three joys.
Thank you for sharing those joys. I love all of those joys. Especially, I love the show that you guys have been doing, where it just came out of reinventing and giving back. And I noticed this when this happened, a lot of people started just giving. There was so much giving for free on there. And then from there, I think that's what's created this collective intelligence that you're talking about, where now instead of everyone thinking I'm competing against this person, they actually think, oh, that person does this. If I put these two together, I can actually create something new. So it has actually created a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz of we're all reinventing together, and a lot is coming out of it. So those joys are really amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
I just want to add the name of the friend. It's Alioune Gueye, and he speaks about collective intelligence. His company is called Africa That Dares. Africa That Dares. So literally translated, L'Afrique qui ose. And they're doing incredible things, around the world. And God bless his soul.